Raise your hand if you've ever worked insanely hard for something, totally sure it was going to pay off. If your hand's still down, you're either lying or you don't care. Probably both. Well, we've all been there, even if you don't like to admit it. So let me take you back to the time I went all in. 4 months, I prepared relentlessly for Harvard Model United Nations. I prepared every resolution, and I rehearsed every detail until it felt like second nature. So I put everything I had into those 4 intense days, and I was sure that I've nailed it. So when the award ceremony began, I just sat there, waiting for my name to be called, as I visualized myself getting up on that stage and accepting that award. So they started calling the winners. They called the first one. I smiled. I was sure I was next. They called the second. I smiled even more. And then they called the third. And what do you expect? Hard work gets results? Nothing. My name was never called. So at that moment, I just sat there, holding the weight, like everything I have done for this was just gone. But worse, I felt crushed under people's expectations and the whispers, "Walau, Maria, كيف ما بدها تربح?" So these whispers told me as if I was simply not allowed to fail. But I thought, why would it hurt so much? So I came across this concept called loss aversion. So as you see, at the center, no loss, no gain, nothing. On the right, you see the gains, but the emotional rise is gradual. On the left, you see the losses as the curve gets steeper. So here is where our brain acts as if something important was taken away from us, processing failure as a way larger pleasure from the pleasure of gain. So I thought, how would this look in our human brain? So welcome to your own brain command center, the place where you take control, the place where you control your emotions. So here, your emotional creatures are still chill, nothing has happened yet. But then it happens, a failure, a mistake, a loss. Here is where your fraud creature storms in and starts slamming that game show buzzer like it's an alarm. And here is where you realize that all the progress you have passed through was gone. This creature reminds you of all of your mistake and just tells you you're a failure. So just as we're just panicking about our mistake, only our mistake, here is where another creature storms in. Here is where our society danger monster storms in, telling us that everyone has seen us. What if they think I'm a failure? What if they'll remember it forever? And what if they're gonna tell everyone? But all these what if questions are just wired to our human brain thinking that losing ruins our reputation, just like our reputation is on the line. But here's the thing, these monsters only control the start. You decide what happens after that fall, and you decide how to adapt. So when you kick away these monsters and tell them to leave, you take control and everything goes back to normal. But you might ask, how do we adapt? So look at this image. As you see, both people are facing the exact same thing. Failure after failure after failure. The person on the left, which was me at the beginning, takes all of these failures, stacks them on their back, and just weighs them down, getting exhausted, going nowhere. But the person on the right, take what if this could be you? You take every failure, stack it as a staircase, not to sink, but to rise. What if this could be your step to success? So always remember that failure doesn't define you, but it realigns you with a path that builds you. Thank you.